Alan, our number one son, came 2 weeks later than expected. He was born September 9th, 1956. I was having a hard time, and it looked like they were going to have to take the baby cesarean. For this operation, they needed bloods, so Bill was sent to Lethbridge as fast as he dared. And when he was back in Cardston with his precious cargo, he was overjoyed with his new blonde, blue-eyed son. Thanks to a priesthood blessing, under the hands of my father and brother Gordon, mother and child were doing just fine. As it turned out, this would be the last blessing that Grandpa Olson would give. For on October 31st, 1956, he fell to his death from this elevator annex. Alan brought a lot of joy to our lives. We discovered early in his life that he always liked a challenge, from the toboggan ride in Edmonton to the swim in the Pacific. But Alan is probably best noted for his sense of humor and ability to make people laugh through his epistles and the unknown comic. Alan was our first missionary. He served his mission in France. Our son number 2, Gregory Franklin, came into our family May 14th, 1958. We couldn't believe he was a boy, for he had such long black hair and eyes. His challenges came in life. When 5 months old, he underwent the first of 2 major operations to repair a malfunctioning heart. The first operation was successful and gave him the needed time to grow to the point where he could be hooked up to the heart-lung machine for open heart surgery. Big decisions came in 1959. Having been in the ice cream business for 10 years and spending from 12 to 16 hours, 6 days a week, we decided for health's sake, a change was in order. We joined forces with Cass. We moved to Calgary and a variety store on Elbow Drive. This was our first new home. It was located in the Fairview area. We really enjoyed our newfound freedom. Why, we could even go to a movie together. My church activities consisted of working in the primary and singing with different trios and quartets. Bill worked in the MIA and taught in the Sunday school. He then served as first counselor in the Elders' Quorum. Most Saturday nights would find him playing record youth dances.
Gordon came to Calgary and was in hospital undergoing tests. An operation was scheduled. Gordon requested a priesthood blessing and asked me to be the mouthpiece. This was the first time he had ever asked me for anything. I tried to collect my thoughts while one of the full-time elders anointed with oil. We laid our hands upon his head and I started to speak. I called him by name and stated the priesthood which we held, and my mind went blank. I struggled, but the words would not come. I could feel the beads of sweat trickling down my back, and tears filled my eyes, but my lips were sealed. After what seemed an eternity, I closed in Jesus' name. Mother Olson came over to me and spoke. Bill, you didn't say anything. Don't you think you should do it again? Around 4 a.m. the next day, the phone rang. I knew in an instant it was the hospital informing us that Gordon had passed away.
Our greatest fear for Greg, with his weakened heart, was pneumonia. One evening we could hear Greg coughing, and we went to see what the trouble was, and found him struggling for breath. His toes and feet were turning blue, and his doctor was in an emergency operation, and no one else would come. We knew something had to be done soon. Bill took off down the street to our neighbor, Ray Tynan. He was LDS and had just been reactivated. He was reluctant to come because he had never been involved in giving a priesthood blessing. Bill assured him that it was not his experience that he wanted, it was the priesthood that he held. We were witness to a miracle, for as they continued with the blessing, Greg's breathing returned to normal, as did his color. We all dropped to our knees and thanked the Lord for the great blessing we had received. It was in the month of April, 1961, that we took Greg to Edmonton. He was now old enough to hook up to the heart-lung machine and was the youngest baby in Alberta to have this operation. It was successful. The doctors repaired 5 holes in his heart. Before surgery, Greg had to undergo several tests, and after each test he would inquire as to when he could go home. The first words he uttered when he opened his eyes in the recovery room were, "Can I go home now?" It was a happy day for all of us when we headed for the home from the hospital. Greg showed early in life that he was an achiever. Whatever he set out to do, he gave it 110%. He served his mission in Bogota, Colombia, the same time Alan was in France. Bradley Gordon blessed our home with his arrival June 12, 1962, in Calgary. He stole the hearts of everyone that saw him with his dark hair and eyelashes. He was a very happy, contented baby. Of course, we had plenty of babysitters, including Grandma Meyer, who was living with us at the time. Brad was an exceptionally good baby, as time would tell on our travels to Australia. He never made a fuss, was the center of attraction wherever we went, and because he was so bashful, he didn't care for all the fuss. Brad served his mission in eastern Canada.
Our business took a downward turn when one of the big shopping malls opened down the road. The business was having a hard time supporting 2 families, so I became a dinnerware salesman. Cass continued in the variety business, but he could see it was a losing cause. We found a buyer and decided to sell. A few months later, the buyer declared bankruptcy, and we lost all that we had. So we had to start right from scratch.
After much fasting and prayer, we took the opportunity to join the Vance boys, who were in Australia getting things started. They urged us to come. The days of sorting began, of what to take, what to pack, and what to sell. So we sold everything we owned, with one exception, our little red Fiat, which we took with us. Each day was a new adventure. The hardest time came when it was time to say goodbye to our families. Grandma Meyer had had a bad fall just a few days before we were to leave and was in the hospital. The 6 of us drove to Vancouver with all our luggage stowed in the roof rack. It was quite a sight and quite an adventure.
Sydney was awesome from the air. It looked endless with its miles and miles of red tile roofs. We were really in luck when we found this home in Kyle Bay.
The secret to a happy day is eating a hearty breakfast. We now take you to the kitchen where Alan has the situation of making porridge well in hand.
Now, the first thing you do is pour in a little water. Then you bring it to the boil. Just a dash of salt, and then a bunch of cereal. Wait 5 minutes, then it's ready. Now, meanwhile, back in Mom and Dad's bedroom,
Come on, Bill, it's time to get up.
Great Scott! What's that burning?
quick, Dad, quick! I can't get the toast out of the toaster.
Oh, no. What a mess.
Quick, Dad, quick! The porridge is burning!
Oh,
Ow, I cut my finger!
Oh, where's Bradley?
Oh.
Where is he? I should have stayed in bed.
Oh, the trouble. You stayed in bed too long. Well, as I mentioned, folks, this is the way to start off a happy day is with a good, hearty breakfast. Yuck.
Well, here we are again. It's now 3:30 and we expect the children home from school. Oh, here's Val now. Hi, honey. How'd you make out in school today?
Good. We had arithmetic, English, and dictation.
You had tests today, did you?
Yes.
Well, how'd you make out?
I can composition.
Well, that's very good. We're real proud of you, Val.
Well, I know everyone back home would like to hear Val play the piano. How'd you like to play us a tune, Valerie?
Okay.
Well, here's Greg now home from school with his shirt tail hanging out and his knees all bruised up and his hair in a mess. My school today.
I learned the phone today.
Good. Let me hear it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish of life. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I let him go again. Why did you let him go? Because he bit my finger so. What finger did he bite? The little finger on the right.
That's good. Did you learn anything else?
Yes.
How were you in school? Were you a good boy?
Yes.
How good?
Very good.
Do you want to play a little piece on the piano for everyone at home?
Yeah, I want to play one song.
Okay.
And he jumps off his stool and rushes over to the piano. He flops his coattails behind him. He adjusts the seat. He's shaking a little hair in front of his eyes. And we're about. Are you ready, Mike?
Yeah.
Very good.
Was good, wasn't it? That's his own rendition of it.
I'll tell you, he's got a smile just like Liberace, too. I think we're going to go a long way with this boy. You may be hearing from him later on. Well, next on our program is a little blue-eyed blonde by the name of Alan. Alan, come on over here and say hello to the folks back there in Canada.
Hi. I'd like to say hello to Kevin, Michael, and Melvin, and Donnie, and all my cousins in Canada.
Well, that's very good, Al. How do you like school here in Australia?
Very good.
What's your teacher's name?
Miss Jyer.
A miss? Was that a miss, you said?
Miss Jyer.
Miss Jar. Has she got Rena Ware? You ask her to misplay, will you?
Don't.
And if she hasn't, why, I'll give you one of these cards, and we'll see if we can strike up a little business here.
She's got a bit of Rena Ware. She's got the Rena Ware nose.
Oh, she's got the renal air knives. Oh,
Yes.
well, all right. We'll see if we can fix her up then. Now, what did